Hello and welcome. We're glad you're joining us from all around the world. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Breaking news. The Houthis have just launched a missile strike on Ben Gurion Airport in Israel, causing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to abruptly leave a meeting. Reports say all air traffic at the airport has been completely halted. The missile reportedly targeted the airport known internationally as Ben Gurion, located in the occupied city of Jaffa, and historically called Lod.
According to a statement from Yemeni military spokesperson Yahya Sari, a long-range missile was fired at Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv. Houthi-aligned media confirmed the missile hit the target precisely, causing extensive damage to runways and airport infrastructure, knocking it out of service entirely. Palestinian news agency Ma'an and Al Jazeera reported that explosions were heard across large parts of Tel Aviv, sparking widespread panic. Videos shared on social media show massive crowds of Israelis running to bomb shelters while sirens blared across the city.
Israel's airport authority announced that all incoming and outgoing flights at Ben Gurion have been suspended until further notice, with flights redirected to alternative airports like Ramon in the south. In response to the strike, Israeli forces also shut down the airspace over Tel Aviv.
Prime Minister Netanyahu held an emergency meeting with top security officials to discuss the consequences of the attack and possible responses. The Israeli military acknowledged that their air defenses attempted to intercept the missile, but it still hit its target with precision. Yemeni forces said the attack was in retaliation for ongoing Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people, and warned that future strikes could be even more devastating if the assault on Gaza does not stop.
In a related escalation, Hamas's military wing, the Qassam Brigades, announced a large-scale operation named Gates of Hell, targeting Israeli forces in the eastern part of Rafah in southern Gaza. A brief statement on their media platform claimed that Qassam fighters lured an elite Israeli infantry unit into a trap inside a booby-trapped tunnel east of Rafah, killing or injuring all its members. They described it as a painful blow that could shift the balance of the conflict. Footage released by Hamas shows the tunnel explosion and militants advancing toward the site under heavy fire. So far, the Israeli military hasn't officially commented on the ambush or any casualties, though Israeli sources have confirmed a serious security incident in the area. There has also been increased military aircraft activity over Gaza since early morning. Al Jazeera reported the operation was in response to recent massacres by Israeli forces in Rafah, which killed dozens of women and children. Meanwhile, international calls for a ceasefire and the opening of humanitarian corridors are growing louder. The Qassam Brigades also stated this operation marks the beginning of broader confrontations and called on Palestinian factions in the West Bank to escalate resistance on all fronts.
Tensions escalate between nuclear neighbors. In a dangerous escalation between two nuclear-armed nations, Indian forces launched air and missile strikes last night on 9 targets inside Pakistan, including areas in Pakistani-administered Kashmir, in an operation named Operation Sandur. India said these strikes were retaliation for a previous attack in Bahagam, Indian Kashmir, which killed 26 Hindu pilgrims. India blamed militant groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, claiming they were supported by Pakistan. Pakistan denied having any terrorist infrastructure in the targeted areas, calling the Indian attack a blatant act of war that killed 26 Pakistani civilians and wounded 46 more, including women and children. Pakistan's military responded immediately, saying it had shot down 5 Indian aircraft, including Rafale, Sukhoi 30, and MiG-29 fighter jets, as well as a drone. Reuters reported that 3 Indian jets crashed in Jammu and Kashmir, though India has yet to confirm this. The line of control in Kashmir saw intense exchanges of gunfire and artillery shelling, resulting in dozens of civilian casualties on both sides. The airstrikes caused major disruptions to air travel, with India closing several airports and canceling over 50 flights. Pakistan rerouted flights to Karachi and declared a state of emergency in Punjab province. Schools in Indian Kashmir have also been closed. In response, the United Nations, the US, and China have urged both countries to show restraint, warning that further escalation could lead to full-scale war. Pakistan reiterated its commitment to defending its sovereignty and promised a firm and appropriate response to any aggression.
Trump announces surprise rapprochement with Houthis. In a surprising and controversial move, former U.S. President Donald Trump announced a preliminary agreement with Yemen's Houthi movement to immediately halt all American military operations against Yemen. Speaking at a press conference, Trump said the U.S. would suspend all airstrikes in Yemeni territory and teased a major announcement ahead of his upcoming regional visit. According to Al Jazeera, the deal signals a dramatic shift in U.S. policy in the region. Breaking news, U.S. opens direct talks with Houthis as Middle East tensions soar. Sources familiar with the matter say the agreement between the U.S. and the Houthis includes opening direct communication channels and discussing regional security coordination, especially with rising tensions involving Israel. This move comes as international pressure mounts to stop the military escalation in the Middle East, following recent exchanges of fire between Yemen and Tel Aviv. The announcement has shocked Israeli political circles. Officials in Netanyahu's government are reportedly worried about how this new US-Houthi relationship might impact Israel's security, especially after recent missile strikes hit Ben Gurion Airport and sensitive military bases.
Houthi spokesperson Mohammed Abdul Salam called the move a diplomatic win for Yemen and a reflection of the Yemeni people's resilience. He said the halt in American airstrikes marks a new chapter in regional diplomacy. Analysts say an upcoming announcement from Trump might signal a major shift in the U.S. stance on the Israeli-Arab conflict, something that could pose serious challenges for the Israeli government going forward.
Urgent Yemen launches. Major dual strike on Red Sea and Tel Aviv. In an unprecedented escalation, the Yemeni military announced a large-scale military operation tonight, targeting both the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Harry Truman in the Red Sea and Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. The strikes were in retaliation for recent Israeli air raids on Sana'a International Airport. Precision-guided cruise missiles hit the U.S. aircraft carrier, causing significant damage and forcing it to retreat. The U.S. Navy is reportedly on high alert following the strike. Early intelligence reports indicate that several fighter jets stationed on the ship caught fire. At the same time, a long-range ballistic missile called Palestine II hit Ben Gurion Airport, triggering massive explosions and damaging key facilities, including the airport's cargo terminal, which caught fire. Israeli media, including Channel 12, reported chaos at the airport, with all flights grounded. Prime Minister Netanyahu has called an emergency meeting with his security cabinet to plan a response. Yemeni forces stated these actions are a legitimate response to Israeli and American aggression, and warned of even harsher attacks if the airstrikes on Yemen continue.
Massive fire breaks out in Tel Aviv, reaches Israeli Defense Ministry. Tel Aviv faced one of its worst disasters today as wildfires swept through large parts of the city and reached the area surrounding the Ministry of Defense in Hakiria. The Israeli government declared a state of emergency. Channel 12 reported that the fire spread rapidly due to strong winds moving from forests and open areas into vital city infrastructure. Emergency crews have been struggling to contain the blaze even with more than 60 fire trucks and 11 helicopters involved. In a rare scene, Prime Minister Netanyahu was seen entering the emergency command center surrounded by military and intelligence leaders, calling on the international community for urgent assistance, including planes and advanced firefighting gear. Meanwhile, the Yemeni military released a brief statement warning that the fires are a final warning to Israel, saying continued aggression in Gaza will result in even fiercer retaliation. Arab outlets like Al Mayadeen and Al Jazeera reported that thousands of settlers have begun fleeing their homes out of fear the fires might spread further. Haaretz described the situation as the worst crisis since Israel's founding, saying Tel Aviv is literally burning from unexpected blows. Hypersonic Houthi missile hits Ben Gurion Egyptian cargo plane damaged. In an unprecedented security incident, media sources reported that a hypersonic missile launched by Yemen's Houthis struck Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. The attack caused chaos across Israel and triggered a full-scale security alert. Israeli Channel 12 cited intelligence sources claiming the missile caused partial destruction near the airport runway and heavily damaged a cargo plane believed to be Egyptian. The aircraft, reportedly carrying humanitarian aid, was at the airport during the strike. Sources say the Egyptian plane was part of a secret aid mission to Tel Aviv, quietly coordinated due to the worsening security situation. Cairo hasn't released an official statement yet, but sources close to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi say he is withholding comment while holding emergency consultations with top security advisors. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is under growing pressure as the Yemeni missile successfully bypassed Israel's multi-layered air defense systems, hitting one of the country's most critical airports. The Israeli government has declared a state of extreme emergency at Ben Gurion Airport and surrounding areas. Emergency crews are working to put out fires and deal with damage caused by the blast. Israeli media described the incident as a devastating security failure, and experts say the diplomatic fallout with Cairo could be serious in the coming days.
Thanks so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Here at S News, we're committed to giving you traditional and